What the haters talking about?
What's up, family? Straight out the gate, I receive no pleasure in bringing you guys these stories about racial conflict. They're exhausting. They make my head hurt. But the way I see it, I have no choice because we are constantly bombarded with uncivilized acts of racism. It's America. The toll that racism has on American society is immeasurable. And I especially can't avoid these conversations because being a black man in America, I got a big old target on my head. American society, specifically the government and mainstream media, has done a great job, a great hit job on the black male character. Now, why would they do that? Why would America have interest in trying to demonize black people in general? So that they can get a pass for mistreating black people. You see, if they can make black people villains, if they can make black people unworthy of being treated fairly, then it can be accepted by others, and even to a great extent, black people themselves. Yeah, it's a lot of them, family, brainwashed. Sometimes you can't tell one of them from one of them. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah. This racism thing in America, fam, I hate to tell you, but it ain't going nowhere soon. But I talk about these things because hopefully I can change somebody's mind. Perhaps I can help somebody navigate through this wild, crazy, beautiful world with some of the information that I impart on them. So my goal is to bring awareness when I talk about these type of stories. I don't talk about them just for the hell of talking about them or for shits and giggles. We all trying to get through it. And people like this woman, who is the subject of this video, don't make it any easier. This woman straight up lied on this black dude for stealing her phone. She claimed he stole her cell phone, when all the while the phone was inside of her purse. She claimed the dude bumped into her. They're at a store, some type of store. He bumps into her, she said. And she looks for her purse and she looks for her phone and she can't find it. So she's constantly going back and forth to dudes like, I didn't take your phone. And there's some woman with the guy who is telling the woman that he didn't take your phone. And so they start trying to dial the number. So the woman uses the clerk's phone to dial the number. And what do you know? It rings, her phone, and it's in her damn purse. She reaches in and grabs the purse, grabs the phone and goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I just overreacted. I panicked." And let me say this, fam. This is, I don't know how many time that I've saw on video, a viral video, a white person accusing a black male of stealing a damn phone. Let me tell you something, fam. Phones come a dime a dozen now. I mean, depending on your service, you can get a damn free phone. Perhaps there are people still stealing phones, but that's not really a thing anymore. I can get it. People have a lot of information on their phones. They can't move around with the phone. And if the phone come up missing, you're trying to figure out, first thing you start thinking, who took my phone? Who stole my phone? Who? But how do you just blame somebody with no proof? Just point. I mean, she could have pointed at anybody. She could have pointed at the woman who was with the man. Now check this out, man. Watch this. I was checking out the comments online on one of these sites, and there was a person who said, well, how would you respond if somebody bump into you and then you start looking for your phone? I mean, that's what pickpocketers do. That's what pickpocketers do. They bump into you and then next thing you know, your wallet is gone. Some people will make any excuse in the world for racism. I mean, you can look at every single cop murder of black people, and there are some people who found an excuse for every single murder. Every single murder was justified. It didn't matter if they were sitting in the car, reading a book, at their own house, watching television, sitting on a sofa, eating ice cream, walking down the street on their way home, jogging on the street. It just don't matter. It just in bed, minding their own business, just whatever. They find an excuse for every single act of racism. The shit at this point it's amusing, but it's sick also, because it goes to the point that, it speaks to the point that America has a long way to go. The people in this country has a long way to go in terms of racial harmony. And I don't see it getting any better, because there's a lot of people at the top who are in media, especially in media and Hollywood, who controls the narrative. And they put these images out and they allow these certain type of hit pieces to go out. They filter, these social media companies, they filter the content that we see. They allow content to go out that paints black people in a bad light. And they allow us to share that content. They allow the world to share that content. But the moment, and they'll show a black person getting their head blown off, just blown off, blood everywhere, where they don't give a damn. But the moment something like that happens to a white person, it gets to the point where it's about to go down and they freeze the frame. And they won't show that person getting gunned down. They won't show the blood. Why would they do that? What they're doing is programming you to be used to seeing black people murdered and not being used to seeing white people murdered. Now, this ain't got nothing to do with decent white folks. I'm talking about the uncivilized mutts who controls the narrative. So this is what they do. If you look at, like, when a white dude kills, a young white dude kills, if he's 18 years old, they call him a boy. If it's a black kid, he's a man. Just watch him. Just pay attention to how they address it and how they always looking for excuses, when it's somebody else. You know how they do, fam. But this woman, she is an example of what's wrong with America. She had the audacity to just jump and blame this man for stealing her phone. And next thing you know, it's in her purse. And all she got is, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I apologize. which is actually more than what most of them do when they're in the wrong. Most of them won't even acknowledge it. Nevertheless, her mama should be embarrassed and her daddy should have pulled out. No more talk.
What the maid is talking about.
Damn.